Hello, Metal Nation. It is I, Tim. That's Doug. And that's Matt.
Hello.
And joining us somewhere is Dave. You know, we'll see. We'll see if he has something to say. You're supposed to fucking pad. We just talked about this. Jesus fuck.
We talked about
Is that's what you meant by pad?
Now there's a band. Forget metal. These guys jam like nobody's business.
He's talking about fish.
talking about fish. Oh, hi, Dave.
Yeah, we're gonna have to fight. This is not going to work. See, this is why we are not in danger of AI taking over. Okay, that is the subject of this episode. That and opening cans. We're all going to open cans because fuck having a professional sounding podcast. Just fuck that. All right.
Oh man, we're like all demonetized
You
now.
demonetized us.
The AI that's reviewing this episode is going to demonetize us for all the fuck words you just said.
Ah, fuck that. All right. AI generated music. All right. So Metal Archives. Metal Archives posted in late April that their stance on AI generated music. So I will read it to you in part.
Okay.
Recently, there has been a noticeable uptick in the number of bands being submitted to the site which have AI-generated music. We want to make it clear what our position is on these bands and how we plan to move forward in assessing them. It went without saying, at least up until now, that when we imagined growing the largest, most complete database of metal music, part of that vision was the preservation of art and human expression through music. I'm sure it was. Until AI, that was a given. The music described on the site is, in some way, played, programmed, and composed by a human being. That still remains an important criterion for us, and it is our belief that AI-generated music does not satisfy that requirement. With the above in mind, we won't be accepting bands with AI-generated albums, and we will scrutinize more thoroughly submissions suspected of having AI-generated music. For those users submitting bands, if you have a band suspected of having AI-generated music, we may call upon you to provide evidence to prove otherwise, whether it's behind-the-scenes material, statements from the band or its label, evidence the band played live, promotional material showing the band is genuine, and so on. The more evidence we have to show that such a band is real and its music composed by a human being, the better. Our goal isn't to make this harder on you, or anyone for that matter, but we do want to stay true to our vision for the site. The policy isn't perfect and is a work in progress, which may evolve over time. We know that there will be some bands with AI-generated music mistakenly added to the site, and we know mistakes can be made, and bands without AI-generated material may be flagged for having AI-generated music. With your help, we hope to avoid this as much as possible. Thank you. Okay, I read 99% of it.
Does that seem like AI-generated text to you? It seems very verbose and wordy.
Yeah, if only because it was less like affronting and confrontational than you'd expect.
They should have just said, no fucking AI music, you posers.
We're going to ram this
Metal Archives out.
McCarthy-ite solution.
Well, it's funny to me. Look, it's a little unclear where the line is. So is this, when they say AI-generated music, what does that mean exactly? Because is that, I mean, there's a website with 24-hour streaming AI-generated death metal at all times.
So Tim, when you program drums and make them more or less human, or any of the things you might do on the production side, is that passing through algorithms?
Oh, it sure is. Oh, I will detail the various non-human pieces of it. But first, I want to ask Dave if he thinks that statement sounded AI generated.
That's a good idea because I think
the
it's very
Metal
important
Archives AI statement likely isn't AI generated itself. Here's why. Clear stance.
Okay.
It takes a clear position on a human-centric issue, supporting human-made music. AI tends to avoid subjective statements. Informal tone. It uses phrases like rightful pushback, which
Dave,
is
I don't think it used that
AI
phrase.
outputs. While AI could potentially write such a statement, the content suggests human involvement.
Okay, well,
See, I
that's
disagree-
Dave's statement.
I disagree because in doing research for this episode, I have also asked an AI about the Metal Archives AI statement, and it says the following. Ultimately, whether one considers it bullshit depends on their perspective and beliefs regarding the role of an AI in music creation and the values of authenticity within the metal community. And that seems like a much more reasoned personal response. So I have to question young Dave's motives there. He seems to beg the question a little too much, don't you?
He's a drummer.
Oh, that's true. He's
So, in
robot.
terms of music production, so like it's the latest RVG, which hasn't been finished yet. As an example, you can there's lots of AI being used just to compose it because just to record it, to create the recording. So, for example, RVG uses sequence drums. In the drum software, you can like take the snare drum, for example, and humanize it, which just randomizes the timing and the in the strength of the hits. So like you select the snare drum, you hit humanize, and it just kind of makes it sound less machiney. Right?
by just
So
like introducing errors.
Yeah. But what it won't do, or at least not without a lot of human intervention, is make it so like the drums are pushing the beat or dragging the beat. No, it's just like a random draw of whether it's exactly on time or like how off it is or how different the hits are. For a lot of the mastering software, they boast all the AI features. If you look up Ozone or Steven Slate, I believe, is another one. They all, like, that's the thing now, is we used AI to create, you know, you can use AI to get to your defined end product. But it's all in signal processing, right?
Okay.
Same with amp simulators. I mean, like, people aren't using real amps anymore, but it's fine to use a simulated amp that's been profiled somehow. Well, now the profiling, all of the profilers are bragging about all the AI they use to clone the amps. So it's like, so it's the drums are fake, the amps are fake. For some reason, people don't care if the bass is fake, because there's bass software too, but it's just guitar and vocals. Those cannot be fake. They have to be performed by a person. And it doesn't matter how much you process them, people aren't upset.
Now I'm gonna ask the elephant in the room already. What about the bass? Could the bass be AI generated, like an AI generated
Baseline?
rhythm and bass line?
That exists.
Right. So how is that not? Would that pass Metal Archives' muster?
Yeah, like, I don't know. And I bet the drums exist, if not already. Like, right now you can link the drum software to the bass software and the keyboard software, and they'll all handshake together, and the bass line could be auto-generated. You can have as much or as little human in the loop as possible, as you want, and people don't care unless it's the guitar or unless it's like the guitar performance. That's what people are upset about. They're like, it's just a weird line to draw.
And what's the definition of AI
Yeah,
using here, or anyone is using?
that's not here either.
You know who might be able to tell us is our good friend Dave, because as I believe Dave is, I forget what his job is, but it's something with computers. must be the constant sitting and snacking. I think if anyone could tell us what an AI is, it would be our good friend Dave. Now he's been busy, so I think Dave has not been sleeping as much for some reason. But
That might explain his
Yeah.
tone and how he sounds
Yeah.
different.
I think so too.
But yeah, I mean, I'd be curious to know what Dave
Music
thinks
is
too.
AI, generated when a computer program creates the music, not a human band. Here's the breakdown. Software analysis. AI studies existing metal songs, identifying patterns in riffs, drumming, vocals, and song structure. Composition. Using this knowledge, the AI creates original music that sounds like metal, following the patterns it learned.
Okay.
Performance. Some AI can even generate MIDI files that translate the music into playable instruments. This is a new technology, and the results can be impressive, but also raise questions about creativity and authenticity in music.
This is actually really spot on.
Yeah, that's okay. Wait, man, I'm glad we asked.
But yeah,
Dave.
that's that 24/7 death metal AI generated death metal stream I'm talking about. It generates the MIDI and then just runs the MIDI through samplers basically. So that's like all the bullet points here that Dave has thoughtfully brought up.
All right, so I get the literally AI generated music because it's assessing the elements of thousands of songs and predicting the order and doing all that live. But how does this differ from application of simpler algorithms 2 years ago? Like, isn't this more iterative than people are acknowledging? We're just using the term AI where we weren't before.
Possibly. Although I will say I just turned on the AI generated death metal stream, and it said replacing the job market evolution's call, and then something about unemployment, and it might be my favorite death metal song of the year.
Yeah, how has it changed? Well, I mean the thing Matt's listening to is several years old, I believe. But it didn't use ChatGPT or Gemini or anything. It's whatever algorithm the guy made. I don't know what he trained it on, but like, what if you? So I had this idea a while ago. I never tried it out, but what if you trained an AI? So how it works is you give it a lot of inputs, right? And then you label the outputs. You say, this is good, this is bad, right? So then the AIs, these deep neural networks just basically figure out their own parameters. They find their own correlations with patterns. So then you can feed it random seeds, and then it will create patterns based on what you trained it on. Now, what if you trained it on your own music? So what if I took the entire corpus of recently vacated graves, trained my own AI on it, and then generated RVG, and then performed and recorded it? Is that bad? Is that AI generated? It's using my own knowledge. It's using my own body of authentic works, and then I would perform and record it myself. So I checked all the boxes. And is it still AI? Is that against the rules?
You're 100% staying in your box.
Right.
That's pretty metal. Like, you literally can't leave the box. It's all it knows.
Exactly. There are no outside influences. It's all like we've had instances of bands like creating a sound and just like regurgitating that sound. I mean, how is AI any different? You know, there's like 10 Amon Amarth albums that sound identical.
I mean, if anything, the AI might be able to produce something interesting and original compared to the same 4 lame guys.
Well, I'll say conversely, like I've had ChatGPT do it, and then whatever Copilot is, which I think is also the ChatGPT used down. But my rewrite of Fear of the Dark that's about fear of fluorescent light. But both things, 9 months apart, came up with a very, very similar scenarios, which leads me to think one guy on the internet wrote that song, and it's just plagiarizing that one guy.
That's a good question.
And that's sort of the challenge, right? Because it is truly black box. We can't understand the machine's thinking.
Breaking news. I have also made a new discovery. So the death metal stream is on a thing called DataBots, which I'm now subscribed to. But they have an even better stream that was supposed to be a mathcore stream. Let me read you from the description. I asked for mathcore, but it only seems to make it for about 5 seconds, then devolves into saxophone jazz, sometimes all the way to J-pop. The process repeats roughly every 2 minutes when it randomly reinitializes back to a few sweet seconds of chaotic mathcore. And the name of this stream is Pho Q, as in the Q one stands in to get the soup pho, and it's amazing. It should be your soundtrack for your life. Oh, and now it's mathcore again. It's pretty great.
Sounds like he could use better training. We can't hear it. You're just bopping your head.
I mean, I'm sorry. Maybe you can have an AI create it.
Well, I think we should ask Dave.
Okay, we should ask Dave.
What point should a band's use of AI preclude it from being added to the Metal Archives? Let's find out what he would say about
that. The Metal Archives currently excludes all AI-generated music, regardless of the level of AI involvement. Their focus is on human creativity and expression in metal music. Here's a breakdown of potential scenarios. Full AI composition. Entire song written and performed by AI excluded. AI-assisted composition. AI helps write riffs, melodies, or lyrics. Current policy excludes, but this might change in the future. AI for recording, production. AI helps with tasks like drum editing or mixing. Currently allowed, as it's seen as a tool for human artists. The policy is new and might evolve. As AI in music gets more sophisticated, the line between human and AI creation might blur, prompting the Metal Archives to refine their stance.
I actually agree with this. I think it's a good line. You can use it for recording or production because there's a human in the loop. The composition, if you use AI to help you compose a song, that's the line.
That's the line. Yeah. But is that a rational line? I mean,
I would say for now it is, and also AI just isn't good enough. I mean, how terrible this is. It doesn't even know how to say AI well, I think that's a good place to draw the line because it's not good enough, and it's just going to gum up the Metal Archives with crap that shouldn't be there. And there's already a lot of crap that shouldn't be there.
So my question is, what about AI-generated Metal Archives entries? Like, what if
That's Pandora's box, Matt.
Yeah. What if you feed a bunch of music journalism or, album reviews into Metal Archives to create the description of, the new Overkill album?
Reviews?
Yeah.
AI generated reviews?
Yes.
All the ways Shinjutsu is 100%.
Yeah, exactly. Here's why Stained Class is the worst Judas Priest album by AI.
You should make it Al, A-L.
Yeah, AL.
So, I like it. It wouldn't. Frankly, I don't think it would change the level of competence for a lot of the reviews.
Yeah, if anything, it'd probably be an improvement.
All right, so we've drawn a line. Now, Dave, you were saying that this line is already drawn. Is that true? You have a source?
Well,
So I think
Yeah.
I found you very perceptive. I think this is salient arguments, and we're going to write a letter to Metal Archives if this isn't already their policy.
Right. But I also think it's important, Dave, I think we should let Dave speak his heart, because I have noticed recently, for some reason, he seems a little guarded.
yeah, it is a little weird, but
I
think it's
apologize.
going to get
I
weirder.
can't directly share URLs within my responses due to safety reasons.
Well,
However,
that's-
I can provide you with
that's
some search
new.
keywords to find reliable sources on the Metal Archives AI statement.
Hang on, it gets better.
Search for link to Twitter. This article discusses the statement and the reasoning behind it.
It has a whole URL to Twitter.
Link to www.metal-archive.
Right after it said it can't share links, it gives a link to
exactly.
twitter.com/metalinjection/status/ and then a big long code.
Well, Dave, we respect the boundaries you set. Are you sure
Yeah.
you didn't just violate them?
I don't think we should go to Dave anymore.
I don't think we should go to Dave anymore. I think he's off his rocker.
Well, anyway, I think we got a good line, so that should be their line. If you're using it to compose or beyond, or before or after, no. If you're using it to produce, that's fine. If you're using it to compose, that's not fine. Now, whether you've trained your own AI on your own music, we still need to figure out if that's fine to create more of your own music. So we'll leave that question for the future. How about that?
Okay. What if now? Okay. Again, I'm interested in the limits of this. What if you get AI to write a song? The MIDI outputs, as Dave was telling us about, write a song, but then you humanly perform said song. Would that count?
That was your proposal, right, Tim?
I think that would be a cover. Wouldn't it be a
Cover of the robot's song? But the robot can't have property rights. The robot can't get ASCAPs, so wouldn't that be your song? What? Wait, didn't that monkey take a picture of itself? How did that happen? I forget how that ended up. But
Well, there's also AI art. Bands have been putting out releases with AI art, and people have been shitting all over them. I don't have any specific examples, but it's like the latest thing for metalheads to be mad about.
Well, I wonder if this. All right, so you can copyright the words to instructions, but you can't copyright a process.
You just made my head hurt.
wait, hold on. No, you can. Can you copyright a
I'm fair, because there is and all this plays into the definition of what music is and what you can copy at some level, but also trade secrets. I mean, they have to keep the, or maybe it's even the other way around, but whatever the secret spices in Kentucky Fried Chicken,
There's 11 of them. All right.
Yeah. And
If
some
they
of them-
were to get out,
some of them are herbs, by the way.
I think I probably said it exactly the opposite, but no. All right, but all this really, and I just wonder how this plays into the generation of music, and whether the output is less. I mean, I guess it's instructions no more or less than regular guitar tablature or sheet music.
Okay, but I mean, you could. Music is different though. Like you could patent an industrial process, right? Like a marble grinding process. I think you could patent that, and that would be a process that would have some kind of internal protection. But I don't think you could copyright like plucking the strings on a guitar to produce music in the same way, right? But again, what if there is some AI interface between the action of the human? We were earlier talking about like the drums hitting, and playing the sampled sounds to make a cleaner sound to reproduce, right? What if you had some kind of AI device where you would strum your guitar, but it would produce a random tone or a random melt? So it would correspond to everything you're doing, but it wouldn't produce the output that you're inputting.
So you're still performing
A song.
something that creates a recording.
Right. But what is recorded does not in any way reflect what your performance.
There's a human in the loop.
Yeah, I think Metal Archives must accept that. Which is why, Metal Nation, Doug and I will be starting our own project called Frequently Occupied Graves, in which we are going to bring a new AI sound to the world. And it will be not only accepted by Metal Archives, but lauded. And all the AI reviewers will give it 16% out of 15.
Well,
Sure.
just bringing back the AI art, the people complaining about AI art. These are they say like they should be supporting the artists, instead of paying for AI art. They should be paying hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars to a human to make cover art, which then goes on an album that goes on to Spotify, which never will make that money back. And then people like, I'll listen to this band now that they spent all this money on real art, and I'll pre-add it on my Spotify, and then they get paid jack shit. Like, you can't have it both ways. You have to, if you want bands to support the people to create the art, you also have to support the output of the bands.
Yeah, 100%.
So, and we've talked about some of these bands, and they all have Spotify stuff, but more importantly, they all have stuff on Bandcamp, which actually pays them instead of any of the streaming services. And I saw recently Matt Barlow, formerly of Iced Earth, said he used to look forward to his royalty payments from Iced Earth recordings and everything else he did, Ashes of Ares, but now he's like, it's not even worth signing the check. They mail him paper checks, which is funny.
Oh, it's like that Seinfeld episode.
Yeah. No, I think like ASCAP and BMI, like it's very antiquated like that. That's how it is.
Yeah,
But
and it's
and Tim, forgive me, I was zoning out. But what I was thinking about, and you may have been talking about this, which is why I thought of it. But I think it's important that artists support other artists across mediums right now. And anyone bitching about a computer putting them out of a job better not be using AI generated artwork for their single or their album cover. It's going to impact everyone the same way at the end of the day.
Yeah, you got to shun all of it or none of it, at least in the creative a portion of things. Yep.
I think this is all just going to be a catastrophic clusterfuck, and the unethical way all of these commercial models were made. Not that and by the way, you can patent a process, and copyright is a particular tangible output. So separate lanes get the similar points. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, everything we're doing is based on stuff stolen from thousands of people. So like the line that should be drawn, but that big companies are never going to agree to because you can't exploit the commercial potential. Anything AI generated just go in the public domain.
I like that.
If there's any questions about the provenance of the inputs,
Hey, that's a great solution, because then anyone can make money off of it, and so it becomes, you have a what's the word? A motivation to get something created that's not that you can own. Yes, that's the perfect solution. Let's stop here, because you can't get better than that.
I do think, as much as we said we didn't want to go to him anymore, I do think it's only right to let our
Dave
special
away.
guest.
You put Dave away.
Fuck off, man. AI.
No, Dave can come back.
Okay, yeah. Let's call Dave up again.
Why, you want him to close the episode?
I mean, I think it's only fair. I mean, we booked him. We booked him as our AI expert, and we should at least let him.
Dave is installing updates. 1 second.
Okay.
I mean, he's got a lot going on in life. Take time out to appear on this podcast, talk about an issue he's passionate about. I mean,
maybe we'll edit this part out.
No,
if I remember to. Pad for time.
Okay.
We are still streaming,
I mean,
yeah, we like them to understand our process.
Yeah, I mean, this is a glimpse. This just proves that we belong on Metal Archives, because there's nothing more human than me, Timothy, Douglas, David. We are your favorite quadruple human amigos. And
hey,
we're here to tell you.
When one of the services I use to promote the podcast allows you to send out your post to whatever sites that you have linked and authorized, but it'll let you define everything, your post text with AI, and it's always trash. So you can type in new podcast episode. This one's about Judas Priest. And then there's a little button that says refine with AI. And it clearly just goes out to GPT, Chat GPT. And it just comes back with trash that's unusable and no one will ever like. But it is useful for finding all the right emojis, because I'm too old to know what emojis there are.
Yeah.
But that's it. Oh, Dave is almost up.
Oh, man.
It seems like subtitling. Like there's a lot of reasonable applications of this stuff, and that's where how much of this is new, because algorithmic interpretation of word forms to generate subtitles is not completely new.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's how many of these lyric videos are AI generated, right? Like all these things. Like when I go to listen to the new Kendrick Lamar diss track, no one's typing out all those lyrics, That's all AI doing that.
Okay, what are we asking, Dave?
Okay, we're asking Dave to close out the episode with some final thoughts. Is that right, Doug? I think that's where we're going to ask Dave.
Yeah, I'd like to know his position. The relationship between AI and the growth of the public domain.
Mm-hmm.
And
And, 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 and,
be used to grow the public domain.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. That's good.
Kind of blunt, but yeah, I mean,
But it gets us
we
to the
only
place we
have
want to be.
like 10 minutes, so
Right.
All right, it's thinking. Dave is thinking. He's formulating his answer. And, okay, you don't have to type it out. Just give me the little speaker button so I can press it. Okay, hey, all right, so we're going to throw it to Dave for his final thoughts on the episode. So until next time, Metal Nation.
Until next time.
Until
That
next
wraps
time,
it up
Metal
for
Nation.
today, Metal Maniacs. Huge thanks to Podcast Them Down for having me. Remember,
Welcome.
metal is about pushing boundaries, exploring the dark and the epic. Whether it's the shredding riffs of Slayer or the fantastical journeys of Blind Guardian, keep that metal spirit burning bright. As for AI, it's a fascinating tool. Could it create the next metal masterpiece? Maybe
No.
someday.
No.
But for now, human creativity and that raw, untamed energy, that's what makes metal truly legendary. On the public domain question, it's a tricky one. AI outputs are a new frontier. Maybe AI-generated works could enrich the public domain someday. But for now,
Someday.
let's celebrate the power of human creation that built this amazing genre. Until next time, keep it metal.
That's amazing.
I have said until next time, keep it metal. I wonder if it's using the YouTube transcripts.